Hello! Welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Welcome back to Pokemon trading card game in Tabletop Simulator. Here on my channel, this is where I'm just playing a tournament with the cards that I own in real life and having some fun, and I hope you are too. We're in round one. We've had a few qualifying matches, we've had a couple of round one matches, and I hope you've enjoyed them so far. And we have hopefully a banger of a match for you today, and I hope so, because the last few matches we've had haven't really been that competitive. So I'm hoping we're going to have a bit of that today. Just obviously to give you a little bit of introduction, as I have been doing, which I will do for the rest of round one. We're playing with unlimited format decks, which basically means every card from every set is legal, unlike in a championship or professional gameplay where only the most recent sets are legal. That means, of course, you can do whatever you want, and it can get a little broken from time to time. So while you still have your 60 card deck, no more than 4 cards of the same name in your deck, and your 6 prize cards, everything like that, we've also put in a few house rules just to help make sure that things aren't horrendously broken. You can see them on the right hand side there. I'm just going to quickly go through them. The starting player can attack on their first turn, which used to be a rule. They took it away. I've kept it. Any Pokemon EX cards from before the GX and the V era cards show up only give you 1 prize card now instead of 2, because other cards have now got a lot stronger, so they're not actually as powerful, so they probably don't warrant it. And in deck building, we only allow 12 trainer cards. So trainer cards being trainers, items, supporters, tool cards, stadium cards. We do have a slight addendum to the rule for any trainers with fossils in their name. And actually that is something that will happen in this deck, because the Bastiodon deck over this side on the right, it evolves from a fossil, an armor fossil. So with that, we do designate, you can designate it either a Pokemon or a trainer, essentially. So you could have 4 armor fossils in your deck, for example, and you could say, well, 2 of these are going to be trainers, and I'll have 10 more trainers, and it's going to stick to the house rules on deck building, and the other 2 will be designated as Pokemon, because you actually play them as Pokemon. The reason I do the 12 trainer thing is because in championship play, decks have about 30-35 trainers, and you just basically breeze through your deck in 1 turn, and you win your match between 2 or 3 turns. And I don't think it's so much fun to play, and I don't think it's going to be so much fun to watch. And with this, it's more balanced. You get a chance to see a lot more cards in play. I like it. All the potion cards, of course, are going to heal 30 as they do in real life. And obviously, as I mentioned, all the decks I build in the game are on a 1-to-1 scale. So if I've used the card somewhere else in the deck, I cannot use it anywhere else unless I've got more than 1 copy of said card. Right, with that in mind, let's take a look at today's competitors. Let's start over here with the Scolipede deck. Look at my big bug boy right here. He is a buggy boy. He's the most strongest of what is 4 Scolipedes in this deck, and honestly, you want to rely on this card in this deck. The rest of the deck isn't as strong as it would like to be, so you want to rely on this family. This boy is the strongest of them. Poison Horn doing 80 damage and poisoning you, and Steamroller doing 140 damage and not affected by resistance, so it goes for any psychic resistances or anything like that. Fantastic, it's what you need. Next to him we have a Delta Species Heracross. I think I mentioned before, Delta Species was a mid-2000s gimmick they had, which people really liked, where basically in game lore, a Holon research tower affected the local Pokemon and they changed types. So Heracross still has fire weakness because he's still a bug, but he's actually a fire type Pokemon too. I love the Delta Species cards, they are really cool. And also, you might want to start with Heracross if you get half a chance, because his Pokebody means as long as he's the only Pokemon you've got in play, your opponent's basic Pokemon can't attack. So he can always come in handy if you need to utilize him. The rest of the deck is basically made up of these guys, Ekans and Arbok. There's 4 Arboks in this deck, and most of them are this Psychic type here, which basically in this instance relates to a Poison type Pokemon. And this guy's pretty cool. He's got Deadly Poison, which can either poison you, or if you're already poisoned, do more damage. One or the other. Deadly Poison is a really cool move, and his bottom attack could potentially paralyze you. Awesome, happy days. However, we've also got a Delta Species Arbok over here, which is Fire type again. So it's really useful because it really helps you change up your strategy. If you look on the other side, there's actually some psychic resistance on the other side, so you might want to maybe go, okay, I'm going to evolve to the fire type Arbok, so I'm not going to be hampered by resistance. And this guy's pretty cool anyway. He can burn and poison you in the same move, and his bottom attack does more damage if you're a Delta species. Probably not something you're going to see so much now, but back in the day that was a big deal because obviously Delta species were the main part of the decks. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a good boy. We do like the Arbok. So that's one deck. Let's take a look on the other deck, the Bastiodon deck. I've got to be careful how I say that. But this boy is a fossil type guy. He's really cool. He obviously is a metal type card. He's got a Pokebody called Protective Wall, which prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon by opponent's attacks. That's active whether you're on the bench or not. So if you've got a chance, get that boy in play because he's going to be really helpful. On the other side next to him, we've got Skuntank, my stinky boy over here. There's 4 Skuntanks in this deck. I'm showing you again the most powerful one, but you might see the other ones come up. Well, I guess we'll see. But this guy's really cool. He's got 120 HP. His top attack does 50 damage and can use any type of energy. And his bottom attack does Poison Ring for 80 damage. And not only does it poison you, but you can't retreat next turn. So normally if you're poisoned, you can retreat, you can take your damage with you, but you lose your poison. Skuntank stops you from doing that, which means you just have to deal with it. So really nasty card. And speaking of being able to switch on the fly, we also have the Bisharps in here. Now I actually can't wait for the Scarlet Violet cards to come out. I'm hopefully going to get a King Gambit, because I've got some cards on the way. I've got them on pre-order. But at the moment, Bisharp is as far as this goes. Pawniard into Bisharp. And Bisharp in the game is half dark, half metal. Sorry. And so in the cards, you sometimes get a dark type, sometimes get a metal type. And they've got different weaknesses and resistances depending on what type you're focusing in on. And it also, again, gets you the chance to switch up on the fly, you know, think about what you're doing. And they're both pretty good cards. The metal card has more HP with 120 and slightly better attacks. Especially the bottom attack that does 90 damage. But the dark type, for 1 dark energy, could potentially do 70 damage if your opponent already has damage on them. So really helpful cards, really useful on both sides, really. I'm hoping this is going to be... Oh wow, I don't know what happened there. I'm hoping this is going to be a more equal game. There is still some resistance to play with and some weakness issues and stuff like that. But we're going to find out, and hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's shuffle our decks and have a go. Obviously, thank you very much to everybody who has been watching these and enjoying the videos. Really, really thankful to people for doing so. I hope you enjoyed this match as well. And we're going to hopefully have some fun. We're looking for a basic in our starting hand. Oh, wow. 2 more cards to draw. What? Okay. We have a basic in the Torkoal, but we have 3 Scolipedes and 1 Whirlipede. No Venipede to talk of. And no Fire Energy for the Torkoal. Oh, wow. That is an interesting starting hand. Let's draw a hand over here. 1, 2, got a special dark. That's a cool card. 3, 4, 5. We need a basic. 6. We didn't get a basic. Okay. Did not get a basic Pokemon. So, what happens at this point is obviously you didn't get a basic Pokemon, so you've got to shuffle your hand into your deck and try again. Your opponent at this point gets a chance to draw another card. And I'm praying for a Fire Energy. Okay, I got a Strength Charm tool card. Okay, no worries. But let's go again. That's called taking a mulligan, by the way. I don't know why it's called that, but that's what it's called. So far, so no basic. I've got one more. We didn't get a basic again. Okay, I will take the chance to just explain the fossil here, the armor fossil. You do play it as if it was a basic Pokemon, but it's not actually a basic Pokemon, so it does not count as a card you can start the game with. So, off we go again. This is one of the risks that I find you run in a fossil deck, because you have maybe fossils as basic Pokemon. Sometimes you don't get the guy you need. So, we're going to draw another card on here. Oh, we got a Fire Energy. That's just what we needed. It's just what this side didn't need. but there we go. 4, 5, 6. So we got a basic. Okay, cool. We got a Stunky. Okay. So we have a basic on each side. So let's put our prize cards down. Get ready for the match to start. Obviously, let's hope this is a match that everyone can enjoy. I've really been enjoying doing these matches myself. If you do enjoy it, let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. But let's get on with the match. Let's have a look. So we only have one basic, even though we've got a couple of extra cards in our hand here. All we have is Torkoal. So I'm just going to organise my hand a little bit. I'm going to put the Scolipedes together. And I'm going to play Torkoal. He's the only basic we've got. We have to start with him. We have the same problem here. We have to start with Stunky. However, we have Skuntank in our hand. He's ready to go. And a special Dark Energy, which is cool. I will come to that in just a moment. So we're going to play the Stunky. No choice really between the two. So let's flip a coin. If we get a heads, the left side will start, which is the Scolipede deck. And if we get a tails, we'll start with the Dark Bastiodon deck. So let's have a flip. It's a heads. There's Shocked Pikachu. So we're going to start on this side. Let's draw a card. We've drawn another Whirlipede. Okay. Interesting. So let's play the Fire Energy card onto Torkoal. We can attack on the first turn, of course, which is part of my house rules. We're going to play Live Coal for 20 damage. This is a really good card to start with because you can literally go straight in with the 20 damage. So 20 damage to Stunky. He's only got 60 HP, so I'm glad we got the evolution in hand. Let's draw a card. Okay, we've got a Dark Energy. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, we've got a special Dark Energy. It's not a basic energy, so you can only have 4 of these special versions in your deck. But what a Dark Energy card does, the special one, is it gives you more damage. If it's attached to a Dark Pokemon, that Pokemon's attacks do 10 more damage to the active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So I'm going to put that on Stunky. I'm not going to put it here where I normally would, because I'll forget that it's actually a special energy card. So I'm going to stick it on the side. And I can't evolve Skuntank yet because it's the first turn for this guy. So we're going to play Gnaw and Run. It does 10 damage, and you switch Stunky with one of your bench Pokemon. I don't have a bench, so I'm not going to need to switch him. But the special Dark is going to mean it does 20 damage as well. So 20 damage to Torkoal. Over here, he's got 100 HP, so you never know what could happen. He's going to be there for a while. And let's draw a card. We've got a Fire Energy. Okay, good. So we're going to play the Fire Energy. And I'm going to play this trainer card called Dan. It's obviously an interesting one. I can't really do this properly. Dan says, draw 2 cards. You and your opponent play rock, paper, scissors until someone wins. If you win, draw 2 more cards. So we're going to just draw 2 cards to begin with, which you do anyway. So there's 1. Got another Whirlipede. What's going on? 2. Got a Rayquaza. Cool. I'm going to flip a dice to see who wins rock, paper, scissors. So heads will be heads will have 1 and we'll draw 2 more cards. And if we get a tails, we lose. It's just the easiest way to kind of simulate it. We got a heads, so we won rock, paper, scissors. We draw 2 more cards. 1, 2. A Litleo and a Rayquaza. Okay, I'm going to put the Rayquaza on the bench. I'm going to save Litleo. Obviously, you don't have to put a basic Pokemon on your bench immediately. Litleo is in here just to make up some numbers because he's got high HP and a really good attack. But there's no Pyroar in this deck. I don't think I own a Pyroar, which is his evolution. So we're going to keep him in reserve just in case we need him. But we've got a Rayquaza, Delta, Fire-type Rayquaza, which has got a pretty cool move. So we'll keep him around. We put an energy card down this turn, so we don't need to do another one. So we're going to play Torkoal, Live Cold Attack. 20 more damage to Stunky. 1, 2. We do have a Strength Charm, which I can attach and do more damage, but it wouldn't knock out the Stunky anyway, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Let's start our turn on this side, draw a card. Pawniard. Okay, perfect. I'm happy we've got a bench because now we have some backup because, of course, if Skuntank, who I'm going to evolve to in a minute, if he got knocked out, it would be game over, so we don't want that. But let's play Skuntank. Let's evolve into Skuntank, play our Dark Energy card, We're going to play the supporter here, Professor Elm's training method. You can only play one supporter card per turn, and hopefully it gets him stopping that Totodile biting his arm off. But this card, you can search your deck for an evolution card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. So we're going to search, and we're going to get a buy shop, because obviously this is a card I really want to use. So really, obviously he's a really strong card. So where is he? Where has he gone? There's one of them. There he is. I want this guy. He's really powerful. And hopefully we'll get some energy soon. Obviously I've only just played Pawniard, so I can't evolve Bisharp straight away. But we've got Skuntank in play with enough energy to do his top attack. We've got one special dark, one normal dark, 2 colourless energy, so any of any type are needed. And so we're going to do Slash, which would do 60 damage, not 50, because we've got the special dark energy attached. So 60 damage. That puts him on 80 out of his 100. It's not very good. Not looking good for Torkoal. Let's draw a card. I need a Venipede. I got another Whirlipede. What is going on? I've got 4 Whirlipedes in my hand. I've got 3 Scolipedes in my hand. I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. I do, however, know that I'm going to play another energy card onto Torkoal and do his Flamethrower attack. Flamethrower attack, really cool card. It does 80 damage, and you flip a coin. If tails, discard an energy attached to this Pokemon. So here we go. We got a head, so we don't have to discard any energy, but we are still going to do 80 damage. So that is going to knock out the Skuntank. 120 damage on 120 HP. And now you're really happy that you had the Pawniard, because you've got a bench. You've got someone there. So we play him. We got our first prize card, which is a Dusk Ball. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We might use that in a moment. Let's draw a card to start our turn. It's a Metal Pawniard. Okay. Now we need to think about what we're going to do here, because we don't have any metal energies. I was hoping we'd take a bit more time to get to the metal energy. But what I do have is a stadium card called Training Court. And Training Court basically says once during each player's turn, that player can put a basic energy card from their discard pile into their hand. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to play it. And we're going to search. We're going to get the dark energy. It has to be a basic, so we can't get this special one out. At least I think it says basic. Yeah, basic. I'm going to power up this Pawniard because I'm hoping I can get a metal energy sometime soon. What that means is that this Pawniard is going to get got. Unfortunately, he's just going to... There's nothing we can do. So, we pass. We end our turn. We've drawn Venipede. Hallelujah. Venipede. This is a cool Venipede, actually. I love the picture, being in the big city and everything, but he has an ability called Poison Point, where if you hit him, you get poisoned. So that's always not a lot of fun to deal with. But let's start powering him up. We'll use the Psychic Energy to power him up. And we will play this Dusk Ball trainer that we got. And basically what this says is you look at the bottom 7 cards of your deck, choose one Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand, and you put the cards back in your deck and shuffle it afterwards. So, I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to put the 7 cards down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can get any Pokemon you want. I'm going to get the Ekans. So, let's group those together. Flip that back over. Give that boy a shuffle. And we'll play Ekans onto the bench as well. You can play cards onto your bench as often as you like during your turn, of course. And we're going to play the Flamethrower again. Which, again, as I said, does 80 damage. And we flip a coin. If we get a Tails, we discard an energy card. Okay, we've got a Tails that time, so 80 damage, we discard the energy. That is going to knock out Pawniard. Look at that, 80 damage, 60 HP. That boy's not coming back. Alright, so, let's get a prize card. It's a Fire Energy. That's awesome. We're going to need that. Let's draw a card. Okay, we've got a Special Metal Energy. This is the reverse of the Special Dark Energy. If you attach this to a Pokemon, that Pokemon takes 10 less damage from attacks. isn't going to make any difference, however, because you'll see why in just a moment. So there's a special metal. There's the Bisharp. He's weak to fire. Honestly, the basic is also weak to fire, so we're not going to do well, are we? So let's just do the move. Vengeful Cut does 30 damage, plus 30 more for each damage counter on any benched Pawniard. We don't have any benched Pawniard, so it's only going to do 30. And that 30 is going to knock out Torkoal. So we've got something. That's something, right? 1, 2, 3, 110 damage, out of 100 HP. So it is going to knock out the Torkoal. So at least in this match, each side's got at least one prize card. So that's a little bonus, right? And we've got an energy card. Okay, that's cool. We are probably going to need that. So we're going to play Venipede. Move the dice. Because I got the Whirlipede in my hand, ready to go. So we're going to draw a card. And we're going to play, we've got N, that's a cool trainer card. We're going to use the training court because each side can use it. And we're going to get an energy card back out of our discard pile. And I'm just going to attach it straight to Venipede. Really? Venipede's got a cool move. However, this Whirlipede here has Poison Sting. I'm just going to check the other one. The other one's got a better bottom. No, I think we're going to do this one here. We're going to use this Whirlipede. Evolve. And yes. Now, N is a cool trainer card. I don't know why his name is N. It's such a silly name. But he's also a really cool character. I love him as a character. But basically, each player shuffles their hand into the deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. I ain't going to do that right now because, as you can tell, I've got Scolipedes in my hand and I don't want to lose them. So I'm not going to play that card yet because each team has to do it. But I'll keep that in reserve. What I am going to do is I'm going to play Poison Sting. Does 20 damage and poisons. Now obviously we've got special metal on, so it does 10 damage because you take 10 less. But then we put the poison on, and in between each turn, we take 10 damage for the poison. So here we are, there's your 10 damage. So let's start our turn, draw a card. We've got a metal energy. I don't know if I've got any basic energies left in here. I don't, so I can't use training court right now. However, I can play a metal energy onto Bisharp and use Slicing Blade. 90 damage, so really powerful move, and it's going to knock out Whirlipede. I didn't think ahead, did I? I did not think ahead, because now I've lost the Venipede. Oh man, I'm gutted. Okay, I didn't think ahead, but you know what? Sometimes you make those mistakes and you got to own it. So trainer card, prize card, sorry, we got another Pawniard over here. In between turns, we take poison damage. So there we go. So now what are we going to do? It's an interesting move. We could play the Ekans or we could play the Rayquaza. Neither one of these guys can take more than one hit. And that's a problem. That Bisharp can hit hard. I'm going to use Rayquaza because he's not as powerful as the Arbok. The Arbok can do a lot of like poisoning and stuff. So I'm going to use him. I'm going to draw a card. It's a potion. Okay. I'm going to play the N card. So as we mentioned before, each player shuffles a hand into the deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. Before I do that, I'm going to play Litleo onto the bench so I don't have to shuffle him. But let's play N. Because now I'm looking for something that can maybe help me. So we put our hand back into our deck, shuffle, and we've got 4 prize cards left, so we draw 4 cards. Ekans, a Fire Energy, a Psychic Energy, and a Psychic Energy. Alright. But both sides have to do it. So I find N is a really cool card. Marnie is a card that does something very similar as well. It really is a good hand disruptor. Your opponent also has to do what you're doing. So they're only going to get 4 cards too. Special Metal, a Metal Energy, a Pawniard, and a Special Metal Energy. Okay, that's That's helpful, I suppose. But let's go back to this side and we'll play the Ekans onto the bench. We've got to figure out what we're going to do here. Now, Litleo, with his combustion move, can do 60 damage. And Bisharp is weak to fire. So even though Litleo is not going to be able to evolve or anything like that, I think we need to start working on him. We've got enough turns to take other people, let other people get got, really. So let's play him. We haven't used Training Court yet this turn, so we're going to go and get one of these Fire Energies back out, put it into our hand. Obviously we can't attach it, we just done one. But there we are, that's the end of the turn. We pass along. Obviously you've got your poison damage in between turns. He's now on 40 damage out of 120 HP. And we're going to draw a card. We'll put the Pawniard straight onto the bench. I have looked, haven't I? Yes, there's no basic energies in that discard pile. So we're going to play a Metal Energy onto the Pawniard. I suppose some people might not like doing what I do, where you have the two different types because you don't know what you're going to draw. I really like it because I love the fact that it keeps people on their toes. So, but at the moment, I would have preferred to put a Dark Energy on this Pawniard because he is a Dark type. But his move uses any energy of any type, so it's not too bad. We can still do Slicing Blade, however. 90 damage, and it's going to knock out Rayquaza. He's only got 80 HP. It's a real shame that I didn't get to use him properly, because his Outrage move is amazing if he's got damage on him, because it does 10 plus however much damage he's got. So right now it would do 100, for example. However, he's going to be a straight knockout. It's going to be a one-hit wonder, as they say on the old Pokemon Stadium games. So we're going to draw a prize card. We've got a Shieldon. Okay, no fossils yet to speak of. I'm going to play the Psychic Ekans onto the active spot. Draw a card, start our turn. Plus power. I love this card. It's an item card, and you play it, and your Pokemon's attacks do 10 more damage to the active Pokemon. I love this card. It can change things, especially if you only need that extra 10. We're not going to play it yet, though. We're going to put a Fire Energy on Litleo over here. And we're going to grab another energy card out of our discard pile because we can. It's always a bit of a risk when you play a stadium card like Training Court because any side can use it. So it's a bit of a risk, but I needed it at the time I played it. However, we've done our energy for the turn. Ekans is going to get got, but we're not going to do anything. I forgot to put poison on between turns. But yeah, so we're going to end our turn over here. We're going to pass along. We're going to do another poison between turns, which means he's halfway to being knocked out, by the way. 120 HP and 60 damage. But we're going to draw a card, and it's a Dark Energy. Okay, awesome. Keep that in reserve just in case we get the Dark Bisharp. However, we're still using this guy. He's still going to be around for a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to play Slicing Blade one more time. We're going to dang 90 damage. And that's going to take out Ekans. He's only got 60 HP. And so 90 damage will knock out the Snaky Boy. One more prize card. It's a Dark Energy. That deck's only got 2 left. Poison between turns, so he's now on 70 damage. And now it's time for the Litleo to come up and do his thing. We're going to draw a Fire Energy. We're going to use Training Court to get a Psychic Energy out. Why not? And we're going to put the Psychic Energy on Litleo because he only needs 2 fire and 1 of any kind. And we're going to do Combustion. Who would have thought that the random Litleo that I put in this deck was going to be the MVP? I wouldn't have thought so. But Combustion does 60 damage. It better do a lot of damage for the amount of energy it needs. And 60 damage is going to hit this boy double because he's weak to fire. It does say on here that it's reduced by 10 after applying weakness and resistance. So you do the weakness and resistance, so 60 becomes 120. You then take away 10, it becomes 110 damage done to the Bisharp. But that's 180 damage out of 120 HP. So the Bisharp is out of here, which is not what you needed. Because we haven't got very strong backup here. So we'll move the poison counter away again. And we've got a prize card on this side. It's a Psychic Energy. Okay, cool. So let's start our turn, draw a card on this side. It's a special Dark Energy. Oh, I think we've lost this game, my friends. I think we've lost this game. I can't believe the Litleo is going to do the business for us. We have one chance, one opportunity. Pawniard over here has a move called Iron Head. Flip a coin until you get tails. It does 10 damage times the number of heads. It's kill or be killed because he's only got 60 HP, so Litleo will knock him out in one go. Litleo has 70 HP. I need 7 heads. Let's see if we get it. So let's go. That's 1 heads. That's 2. 3. Oh God. 4. Oh no! 4 heads, 40 damage. Oh, what a shame. That was awesome. That would have been really cool if that had happened. It would have changed the game completely because I've been reliant on this Ekans. But let's draw a card to start our turn. It's a Psychic Energy. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, is it? Let's play the Plus Power because I can. Plus Power means I do 10 more damage, which means Combustion will now do 70 for this turn. And it will knock out Pawniard. 70 damage on his 60 HP. And away we go. So that was a bit more competitive, wasn't it? We'll get one more prize card. It's a Scolipede. Man, I can't believe we didn't get to see the Scolipede because I made my mistake. That was a bit of a silly move from me. I didn't think too far ahead. I didn't think about the fact that the Whirlipede would get knocked out straight away. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Well, Scolipede is going through to the next round. Even though both sides have 2 prize cards left, the other side, as you can see over here, has no more Pokemon to play, which is sometimes a risk that you run with a fossil deck. That does happen from time to time. So there you go. Real shame. We had a Metal Energy and another Bisharp waiting in our prizes on this side. And on this side we had an Arbok and a Psychic Energy. Well, there we go. I didn't think Litleo would really do much. He's there to make up the numbers, really, because he's got some decent HP and a powerful attack. And I guess he did what he's supposed to do. Well done to the little lion. The little lion that could. Just can't wait to be king. I need to stop making silly references in these videos, I'm telling you. But thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, let me know. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know where it is. And a big old thank you to the people who made all the mods on this tabletop simulator. The flex table, the Pokemon cards, damage counters, Pikachu dice, energy counters, all that good stuff. You guys have given me the tools to do something like this, which I am enjoying. I'm having a great time doing it. And yeah, thank you so much. And a big thank you to the vecteezy.com website where I got my versus render, which I'm using for the thumbnails. And a big thank you to all of you for watching and spending some time with me in your day. Really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time when we have another match, another round 1 competitive match. And I will see y'all next time.